I read what you wrote for International Women's Day, and you said that saying, behind every successful man, there's a woman. And you said, how about we flip that on its head, why don't we, and say, behind every successful woman, there's a man. Are we on our way to doing that, Cherie Blair? Or are we a long way from doing that?
I think it really depends on the man. I mean, I can definitely say that I couldn't have done all the things I did without the support and active encouragement of my own husband. And I often tell the story about going to visit some women on one of my projects in Africa, and they saying to me, why are you doing this? And I said, well, partly because I am myself someone who was brought up by a single mum and really understand about the power of women and what they can pass on to their children. But also I said, that all the research now shows that actually investing in women makes good sense. And the OECD have a report that shows if you give a development dollar to a woman, 90 cents of that she will spend on her family and on the project. I said to the women, and you know what the figure is for men?
Right.
And they said 1%. Now, actually, I said, well, actually, the figure is...
It's a little better than that.
It's 30 to 40%. But it was an illustration of the experience that they'd had in some of the men in their lives, which resonated with me because actually my father was a bit of a 1% man because, he left...
Left your mother to raise you and your siblings.
And with no support.
Mm-hmm.
On the other hand, I absolutely know, and my husband is a 90% man, and I certainly hope that my 3 boys will equally be 90% men. So I think we really have to do a lot more to say to the men in this world, the good men, that you have to come with us as women and start saying it's no longer acceptable to have these 1% men in the world. That when you ask what is a good man and what a good man looks like, he's actually a man who too wants to contribute to his family, who too wants to put back everything that he makes, not on the basis that this is my money for me to spend on drink or gambling, but actually it's my money for me to spend on the welfare of my family, my community and my country, because we have many of those men and we don't celebrate them enough.
Yeah, because and you cited the research, and there's other research that shows it's good business for companies to have more women involved. And yet, and it's something you've talked about as well, around the world, women, we're 50% of the population, and yet we make just a little more than 10% of the seats on corporate boards. Women's rights groups will say that's pathetic, and isn't it?
It is pathetic. And look, on the other end, 80% of the agriculture in Africa is produced by women. And women in Africa, and in fact around the world, own 1% of the land, or it's 2% of the land. Again, it is pathetic. So what can we do about it? Well, the truth is, things are changing. We are realizing, aren't we, here in your country and my country, that actually the best, most successful companies are the ones that do use their female talent. That in a time when we have young girls succeeding better than ever before at school and at college, and then going into careers at the beginning of their careers on an equal basis with boys, that we cannot then afford to allow them to kind of fall behind. Now, that means we have to change the way our model of doing business, because if we continue to do our businesses on the basis of a model that thinks that women stay at home and look after the family, and that men are the public face of the family, and therefore every employee in your company is someone who's got a wife at home that will do all the nurturing for them, it's not going to work, because in today's world that's not what happens. So we have to have more family-friendly policies. We need to ensure work-life balance isn't just seen as a mum's issue. Actually, what's interesting is that it's very much seen by young men too. They don't just want to have a career, they too want to have a life. I think many young men today want to be seen and to be acknowledged to have a nurturing side. They want to be more hands-on with their children. They want to contribute to that side of their relationship, as well as, of course, progressing their careers. So we have to make this not just about women, but about making sure the best talent is used in the best ways.
Exactly. At the same time, and when I was preparing for this interview, I didn't realize this, Facebook, I mean, talk about a company of here and now, and of, you know, empowerment of young people, old people, etc. And yet it has an all-male corporate board, which I found kind of stunning to learn.
Well,
so you think of a company that to me is so connected to the future and where we're going and the vision and the technology. I don't know, something seems wrong there.
Well, that raises an interesting case, but isn't she called Cherie?
Oh, Sheryl Sandberg is one of the highest ranking women. That's the thing. She's the chief operating officer. So yeah, that's you know, she's obviously one of the most powerful women.
But it's also, you know what it's also about? It's also about the idea that somehow in our societies we've got that women didn't do tech. And so, you know, all these campaigns we now see about getting women more into science and into technology is very important. And today in our meeting, we were discussing the way that we can avoid that now in the developing world. Because actually women do technology, and it can be because of its flexibility, because of the fact that you can do a lot of the work from home. It actually can be it can be a very good career for a woman. And we can, in the developing world, start saying, from the very beginning, that women can share equally in this technology. We didn't necessarily do that in the US and the UK, but there's no reason why actually we can't change that. And there are plenty of campaigns that are going on now to absolutely say to young girls, think of technology. You know, it's no longer a dirty job, if you like. It's very much a job which gives you the flexibility that women are looking for.
Absolutely.